Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another edition of Writing Your Writing. I'm your host, Mr. Gessel, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about active voice. This is something that throughout my career as a teacher, I've talked to students a lot about, and historically, I've put a lot of importance in writing in the active voice. Now, a lot of writers just naturally write in an active voice, so I don't think it's something that you 100% always have to be struggling with, but it is a technique, a tip that can really help your writing be more fluid, fluent, and definitely more reader focused. So let's get right down to what we're talking about. And what I want to do is just explain to you a little bit with some depth why writing in the active voice is actually better. So let's take a look at, I have two sentences here. I have a passive sentence and I have an active sentence. Now let me show you what active voice even is. An active sentence is a sentence that begins with the actor and or the agent. And what I mean by that is that the sentence will begin with the person or the thing that performs the verb. This is usually, in fact, almost always the subject of the sentence, but sometimes it isn't. So let's take a look at this active sentence here. If we look at this sentence, I'm looking first for the main verb in the sentence, and in this sentence there's only one, so struck is my verb. And then I look at who or what does the striking? Well, it's the ball. The ball is what strikes the boy. So the ball in this sentence is the agent. So let me just go over to review, and I will say a new comment. I will say struck is my verb, and ball in this sentence is my agent. Again, that's the person or the thing that does the verb. In this sentence, of course, boy is the direct object because it is what is receiving the action, unfortunately for the boy in that sentence. So that's what an active sentence is. Now let's take a look at the passive sentence up here. You can see that once again, struck is my verb. Again, the only verb in that sentence. And I'm thinking, okay, who or what does the striking? The boy was struck by the ball. Well, even though boy comes before the verb in this sentence, boy can't be doing the striking. I mean, think about this for 1 second. The boy can't hit himself with the ball, or I guess he could, but in this sentence, they're just saying that the boy was struck by the ball. So the ball is doing the striking. So the ball, in fact, is the agent in this sentence. So the ball should come before the verb in order for it to be active. That's what this comes down to. You have the agent coming before the verb in an active sentence. So let me try and explain to you why it's better to write in the active voice. If you look at this passive sentence, first of all, let's just count the number of words in it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 words in the passive sentence, and in the active sentence, we get across the exact same thing in only 5. So one reason to write in the active voice is that you actually will save yourself some words. And that's important to writers. It is so important as a writer to write with brevity, be brief, get to the point, be clear. The other reason that active voice is much, much better than passive voice has to do with the way that your brain works. And let's get kind of deep for 1 second. So when you read a sentence in the English language, we of course read from left to right. And when you read a sentence, your brain, is trying to figure out what the heck is happening in the sentence. And the fastest way to show your reader what the heck is happening in that sentence is to describe for them the action right from the beginning. Because if you put a picture in their mind of what's happening, as soon as they start reading that sentence, they get it right away. And it's easier for them. And we love to make it easier for readers because readers who feel like it's easy keep reading. And that's what we as writers want. So look at this for a second. If I read, the boy was struck by the ball, my brain understands, first of all, that there's a boy, then that the boy was struck. But it isn't until the end of the sentence that I see what is striking the boy, and thus, it isn't until the end of the sentence that I have a full picture in my mind of what the sentence is actually describing, that I can see that little movie play in my mind. Whereas with the active sentence, I can see the ball struck the boy immediately. My brain doesn't have to do the work. The writer does the work for me. So today we've talked about active voice. I've showed you what active voice is, and I've explained to you why active voice is ultimately much better than passive voice in writing.